Hi everyone, it's Nikki with Chasing Light. I am here to show you how to use the new robust action called the Queen Bee. Now the Queen Bee is going to replace Hansel and Gretel. It's going to replace Hansel and Gretel as a standalone action for sale, as well as one of the actions that will be available in the fairy tale bundle. So what the Queen Bee does is it changes, just like Hansel and Gretel did, an image like this that you would take outside with the sun low in the sky, and it changes it into a very whimsical fairy tale type of an image. And what I really like about this one is that in addition to a couple of special effects components that it has, it's really a one-click wonder. There's not a lot that you're gonna have to do to your image besides run it the way that it is. You have options within it that you can do, and I'll show you those. But if your image is taken outside like this one, and you have a lot of foliage, you have a lot of greenery, and you have the sun in behind your subject like this action is going to be a one-click wonder. So what I want to start to do really quickly first is I want to show you how you install this action, because it does have additional files with it, unlike other ones. Okay, so once you download your action folder from the link that you're provided with, I want you to open up that folder, and you're going to see two files. You're going to see your action file, the CL Queen Bee, and that's your action file.atn, and the second one is your .pat file. Now this one is going to have two sun flares with it. One is a horizontal one and one is a vertical one. Okay, and the way that you install this is super simple. You simply double click on it, just like you double click on the action itself, and both of them will be immediately installed into your Photoshop. Okay, so you're going to double click on your sunflares.pat. It's going to open Photoshop, and then come back to this screen and double click on your CL Queen Bee, and that's going to install into Photoshop as well, and it should open up your Photoshop folder again as well. So once you do that, you open up the image that you want to work on, and hopefully it's going to be very similar to this one, because this action works really the best with this style of image. And what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to find your Queen Bee by Chasing Light in your actions panel over here, and you're just going to hit play and make sure that I don't hit other applications. Okay, so the first stop that we come to, we click stop. This is your sun flare. So in your image, you're going to either have a sun flare on the right or the left hand side of your image. And keep in mind that this image I'm working on is a vertical image, and I'll show you options for horizontal images. But for this one, you're just going to make sure that this gradient is on whichever side of the image that your sun or your sun exposure is. So just double click on the gradient over here in your actions panel like this, and once this gradient fill window is open, then you simply can click on and drag this gradient anywhere in your image that you want it to be. So for this image, obviously it's in the right. You click OK, and you come back over here and you click play. And here Adobe tells you that now we're going to insert the pattern that came. You click continue, and by default the first pattern that's going to pop up is going to be the one that's specifically for a vertical image. Okay, so I'm going to hit continue and let the action run its course, and this is literally what this action looks like when it's finished on an image of this style. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and open up the panel. You're going to see a couple of layers are by default turned off, and then I'm going to come down here to your sunburst pattern. Okay, so this one, like I said, is default a vertical. It's always going to default to the vertical one, but you have another one that's available, so just turn that off for a moment. And what you're going to do if you want the horizontal pattern to show up instead, you're going to click on layer, you're going to choose new fill layer, you're going to choose pattern. Okay, and then over here you're going to choose screen as a overlay, or sorry, as a blend mode. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to click OK. So you click OK, and instead of clicking OK again, you can see that it automatically puts in the vertical pattern. You're going to click on the arrow down button here, which gives you an option, and now you're going to see the horizontal sun flare in the menu assortment here. So you would just choose this one instead, and then you would click OK. And then over here, you would just start adjusting your opacity to get it to where you want it to be. And something else to keep in mind too, that if you do decide that you want to go this route, you can see how when I inserted this new pattern, it moved it to the very top of all of the layers in the action panel. And by default, I have it down here just above the sun flare. That's ideally where you want it to be. So if you decide that you want to do that for the horizontal one, just go ahead and drag this back down here to where it is, because you can see that it's underneath of all of the effects, and it looks like it's more realistic. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one because I already have mine here, and I've set the opacity at about 54%, which is ideal for this image. Now, if you want to move this, if you don't want the sun flare on the right side of the image, if let's say you want it on the left side of your image, you're going to have to, on this layer here where it's highlighted, right click, choose rasterize layer. Okay, and it's going to rasterize that, and then you're going to hit Command T to select this, and then you're going to choose flip it horizontal, and then that's just going to move it over to the other side, like you can see here, right? So that's what you would do if you wanted to move it to the other side. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you there's two other options within this action that you can play with. If your image perhaps isn't as dark as mine was, or it was lighter and you want to add more contrast, you can choose this one here. That adds a little more drama, and then the top one just adds a little bit of blue matte to the shadows. So those are two additional options that you can choose for your image that you're working on. So this is the brand new action that's replacing Hansel and Gretel, which is now retired and will not be coming back. So have fun with this one. I really like it. I like the fact that you do have the option of sunbursts in it as well. And feel free to post any images that you fall in love with using this action on our Facebook page. We're always happy to see your work. So have a great day, enjoy, and thanks again.